Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive Talking Nerd, John Norgrove. We've got Wife here. We're here for another review Jive. So this one is going to take, I'm pretty certain, 6 fucking weeks to make, which is absurd. Or 6 days. Or is it every day or is it every week?
Every day.
That doesn't make any sense because 6 days, well, it might end on Saturday, so you may be getting this on a Monday. I'm not entirely certain when these air because Cartoon Network is difficult.
It's every day at noon.
But, yeah, but that means that the last one is at noon on a Saturday.
Or there's only 5 parts.
There's 6 parts.
Well, then the last one's at noon on a Saturday. I don't make up the rules.
Whatever. Anywho, this is Where Exactly on the Globe is Carl Sanpedro, the 6-part mini-series special for Teen Titans Go. So that would make it about an hour and a half. So it's like a half movie. It's like a TV movie, basically.
No, each episode is like an hour.
Each episode's 15 minutes, Ben.
Okay. Today's was 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know. They're all 15 minutes.
I was
given
upset
time
because
for,
I wanted more.
Given time for commercials, and they have to advertise what they're doing for the end of the month.
Yeah,
which is why there's plenty of 15 minutes.
I know.
But so you're gonna get like an hour and a half worth of content out of this with its entirety. But so this first episode was the Teen Titans go on a vacation to Los Angeles, California. They leave what looks like...
They leave Jump City, which is...
basically the Bay Area.
Exactly where the Oakland airport is where they fly out.
Yeah, so maybe it's in Oakland. Although it was my understanding that they were in San Francisco. That's fine. Maybe Jump City is Oakland. At this point in time, I have literally no fucking clue. And so they go to San Pedro.
Yeah. Yeah, so they end up
California.
staying in San Pedro, California, as opposed to Los Angeles.
Yeah, which is an hour and a half away from all the fun stuff.
Yeah, so there's a pretty funny scene where they got like an Airbnb and the sky is just wild. I think he's one of the producers from the show. I think that he's one of the producers when they like exited the show and were talking to all their voice actors and stuff like that. The show's hyper meta. But yeah,
I think
meta.
I'm almost certain
that
that's one of the producers.
Who owns the house, the Teen Titans stay in his son's old room, which is like right out of the 80s, complete with like a bedspread with Alf on it.
Yeah.
And there's 4 tiny dogs or 3 tiny dogs. And the tiny dogs get the bed and the Teen Titans have to sleep on the floor. So the guy is like, it sucks you gotta sleep on the floor, but I'll make you prime rib and shrimp. And then he starts to sing a song. He pulls out an acoustic guitar and sings a song about making prime rib and shrimp, something I'm probably going to start doing now.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But he needs the recipe book, and they find out that the recipe book was stolen by Carlos Sanpedro.
Carlos Sanpedro.
It's Carlos Sanpedro, yeah.
Carlos Sanpedro. So this is basically just making fun of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. And this first episode was a commercial about the 3 things that you can do when you go visit the town of San Pedro. I guess. I don't know. I feel like maybe somebody was hurt in San Pedro. There's a Maritime Museum.
Yeah, Maritime Museum.
That's it.
Gut Gushers, which is a burger place.
Yeah, but that wasn't one of the things that they were trying to tout.
That was one of the things. Yeah, it was the first one. They talked about that, and then the Maritime Museum, and then visiting the docks. Those are the 3 things apparently you could do in San Pedro.
And so there's a lot of good humor about that. Because
everything else takes an hour and a half to get to.
Well, Los Angeles specifically, where all the fun stuff
They're like,
is.
how far away is Hollywood? And he's like, an hour and a half. Yeah. And they're like, how far away is this? And he's like, an hour and a half.
Yeah. So
this is very meta, tongue-in-cheek.
The book was stolen. They have to get it back. This guy's like basically escaped San Pedro. And like this first episode was primarily setup. There wasn't a lot of like plot. There were a couple of little jokes. They were primarily just making fun of people who live in the greater Los Angeles area. Like basically not having access to all the things that are in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna report. Basically, we're gonna review each episode standalonely, and then you're just gonna watch them all in a row. So when we're done with this. We're going to be in different clothes, same bat place.
Because it'll be a different day.
But yeah, that'll be tomorrow, theoretically.
We change clothes and then shot another video.
No, it's not that. Because we're watching these as they air on television.
We're also too lazy for that.
Yeah. Either way, I think that this was a good setup,
This
and
was awesome.
we
I
will
look forward
see.
to the next one.
We'll see what part 2 brings.
Yeah.
I think this next one's like supposed to be like South America or something.
I have no idea.
Maybe Africa.
Yeah,
I don't know.
no idea.
They showed like foresty places, so I don't.
But it's also Teen Titans, so wild card.
Yeah, at this point in time, anything's possible in Teen Titans. But either way, we will catch you guys in part 2. Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive Talking Nerd, John Argrover, wife here. We're going to stop trying to do that introduction, but we'll see if I can remember to do that.
Oh, I guess we already did that for this video.
Whatever.
Oh.
It's day 2, we're in different clothing. You fucking get used to it. It's not my problem, it's yours. So, today was the second episode of
Teen Titans Go! Where exactly on the globe is Carlos Sanpedro?
Yeah, Sanpedro.
Sanpedro.
Yeah. Carl. Not Carlos. Carl. Yeah. And today's episode was in Jamaica. It did almost no talking about Jamaica, so that's fun. Today's episode primarily dealt with the necessary video game aspects of the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego video game. So you have to like go to a location. Oh, there's a henchman in that location.
And then you have like a point of interest.
Then you have to
and like a hotel to choose from.
A museum. The port and the thing. So it's 3 things that exist within that town. So the way that you play the game, if you've never played the original game before, which I imagine most of you probably have not, when you're exploring locations, the only way you know if the bad guy's in that location is if there's the presence of a henchman.
Yep.
And then once you find the presence of a henchman, you go to each one of these locations, you learn a bit of information about the person, and that gets you closer to being able to capture them. In this episode, they specifically use writing a warrant for his arrest as the justification for being a, quote, gumshoe. And other than Robin, the rest of the Teen Titans are fucking furious about 100% of this.
Over all this.
They do not want to participate. They're just like, why don't we just beat his ass and throw him in jail? So they beat up the henchman. But
they don't question him, because that's not what gumshoes do.
And then they go to all the different locations, and they basically don't learn anything. And then when they finally get to being able to capture him, they're able to capture him, and they turn him over to the police. And the police are like, cool, now you gotta answer some questions about him so we can, like, have a warrant for his arrest. And of course they don't have the
questions
answers.
You would expect. It's like, what's their favorite artist?
Yeah, well,
what's their favorite hobby?
Exactly the questions you would expect if you had played Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah, exactly.
So, again, this is like infinitely aware of the fact that the video game has very specific and absurd rules, right?
Yeah.
That have nothing to do with, like, the pseudo meta reality that is Teen Titans Go, which actually makes for a pretty funny episode. Again, another brief. They're all like 12 minutes.
Yeah,
so
another short boy.
Super short episode. Real heavy on the jokes. I can just.
There's also a song about gumshoes.
There's a gentle gumshoe song in there. It's because remember everybody in San Pedro knows ballet, or whatever. But I feel like we're either in the next episode we're either going to get like further down the rabbit hole of the rest of the Teen Titans not wanting to participate in this game any longer, or we're going to back out and move in another strategic direction, whether it's with regard to the game, with regard to the cartoon, or possibly some sort of DC logic that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But either way, there is a lot of open-endedness with where they can bring the next episode. Obviously, we don't know where the next location is. In a million years, I would not have guessed Jamaica.
Yeah, so, specifically Montego, Jamaica, who we learned that their main, I guess, trade, you could say, their main export is call centers.
Yeah, which, again,
telemarketing centers.
I feel like, because I don't know Jamaica, I feel like that's...
I don't know.
A dig
that's
at
what
Jamaica.
It showed us.
Right, but they also, they also said that, like... everybody in Sanpedro takes ballet.
Yeah.
And clearly everybody doesn't, right? Or they do, and there's just some sort of like a secret about California that I'm not aware of, which is entirely plausible. But it's like inappropriate joke adjacent. They're just like, we're gonna ignore all of the tourist stuff and just do this. Yeah,
we're not sure.
So it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes and what we're gonna do with it. I thought this episode was really funny.
Super funny.
I thought it was funnier than the first episode, to be honest.
Yeah.
The team just being fucking up to here with Robin was hilarious.
Fantastic.
Robin is insane. Their Airbnb guy who keeps saying the word gumshoe fucking endlessly.
Keeps showing up.
Is hilarious.
And at this point, he might be Carl Sanpedro.
Carl Sanpedro, yeah. He might be Carl Sanpedro.
I'm having the hardest time saying that and not saying Carmen Sandiego.
It's Carl Sanpedro. It's super simple. Yeah, that's fine. She'll figure it the fuck out one of these days. Either way, we'll catch you guys for day 3, so see you then. Sup, Nerdmigos? We're back. It is day 3 of where exactly in the globe is Carlos Sanpedro. Carl
Sanpedro.
Even I screwed it up this time. Although I swear to God, I think sometimes they call him Carlos. It's not important.
I think so too. It's not important. It's killing me.
Today's episode was in India. It was in.
So I'm gonna call this the Bollywood episode.
Where was it in India? What was the town?
I don't remember at all.
Chennai. It was in Chennai, India. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so obviously. So each one of these episodes is getting better than the last, and each one is more delving into how much the team wants to travel and play around, and how insane Robin is
about being a gumshoe.
So of course they get there. Chennai is known for cricket. They have like a famous cricket team. And so, of course, he's trying to get them to understand that it's about cricket, and the team only cares about Bollywood, which is pretty reasonable. Bollywood's fucking great.
Yeah.
So there's a giant fight scene at the very beginning.
There's also a fight scene at the end.
It's
all very, like, tongue-in-cheek Bollywood-style fighting.
Violent the Teen Titans have gotten. They're so violent. It's so absurd, right? Of course, the whole time. Robin's like, there's like Bollywood isn't here. This isn't about Bollywood. Chennai's known for cricket, whatever. And of course, they make all the jokes about cricket. The stakes are for hunting vampires, and the bats are used for making pizza and all that kind of stuff. So they inevitably go from like downtown Chennai to the gardens, where we get a fucking weird dream sequence with Robin.
Who's
being in love with a
white tree?
White oak or white cedar tree, the kind of tree used to make cricket bats. And it's like very sexual.
It's like, very strange.
It is inappropriate, my man.
Yeah.
Wow. Gross. Gross. But so that happens, and then the team's like, all right, well, that was awful. We didn't want to see that. I guess let's go to the cricket match. So they show up to the cricket match. And Robin's like, we gotta blend in. He is not already blending in, and their answer is like, alright, we're just gonna start beating people up. So they just fucking murder people.
Yeah, so they just start beating people up willy-nilly. Carl Sanpedro appears. I said it right this time.
Yeah, Carl Sanpedro appears.
And then they have a Bollywood dance-off number.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. Well,
this is definitely my favorite episode so far.
Carl Sanpedro starts to run away, and Robin's like, we can't catch him. And they're like, don't worry, we'll do a Bollywood dance number. The Bollywood dance number, that's going to attract him back, and then we can capture them. At which point, they do a sweet Bollywood dance number, capture him, come to find out, I don't know, it's just animated clothing or something.
It's a cricket.
There's not even a head.
It's a decoy.
It's just a cricket.
And inside is literally a cricket, like, a bug.
Yeah, like the insect. Yeah. And then, of course, our
friend from Sanpedro.
Our friend from Sanpedro, whatever the heck his name is.
Yeah.
He shows up and he's just like, he was spotted again somewhere else. Was it over here?
No.
Was it over here?
No. Was it over here?
And then it just fades out.
And then it just fades out. So
it was a really good one. Again, this episode is better than the previous two.
And tomorrow is the last episode.
Tomorrow's the last episode, so we'll see where that goes. yeah, I have no clue how to feel about what could possibly end this franchise. I'm gonna be very real with you. I think that Sanpedro is either our guy from Sanpedro.
Oh, I've thought that since the very beginning.
Or
yeah.
It might be Robin. Listen, it might be Robin because Robin's real into gumshoeing and none of these other motherfuckers are at all okay with it. So it might be Robin. We're going to find out tomorrow. Then we're going to let you guys know what it is because we're just going to go through each episode and break it down.
Yep.
This episode was really good. I think they did, the music was fun. The action was fun. All the characters kind of got their own good beats. I mean, I feel like maybe Beast Boy was a little less in this one, but like, whatever. You know, I think each episode kind of tends to, it's hard to rely on like 5 characters like that. But, yeah.
This was great.
This was great.
So, we'll
catch you guys tomorrow. Yeah, we'll catch you guys next time for the final episode of Where Exactly on the Globe is Carl Sanpedro. So, next time. Sup, Nerdmigos, we're back for the last day. This has been 4 days of Teen Titans Go, where precisely on the globe is Carl Sanpedro.
Oh, we finally said it right. It's only taken 4 days.
It's actually where exactly on the globe is, so.
Oh.
Yeah. I said it wrong on purpose.
Right.
Ha-ha! Anywho, so this last episode was, again, far and away better than all the previous episodes. This is only built with awesomeness.
Yeah.
This episode, we went to Croatia. Which was awesome. Basically, the moment they found out about Croatia, they're like, let's just Game of Thrones reference.
All Game of Thrones.
The whole time. So Beast Boy becomes a dragon. Raven becomes the three-eyed Raven, obviously.
Yeah, Bran.
Cyborg becomes Hodor. And Starfire becomes Daenerys.
And Robin, for the most part, is not into it, but at the end, he's basically
they're like, we need your help! And they throw him basically Robin's outfit in the form of Jon Snow so he can become King of the North. Because in the beginning, he's like, if we were doing Game of Thrones, which we're not, but if we were doing Game of Thrones, I'd be the King of the North. And they're like, no. Not at all.
Yeah.
So it's really, really funny. Great fight scene at the end.
Lots of Game of Thrones.
Lots of Game of Thrones references.
We finally find out who Carl Sanpedro is.
Yes.
There's a moral of the story.
Yes.
I don't want to give it away because it was fantastic.
Yeah, we're not going to ruin it, but
it looks like Cartoon Network is going to be replaying this, kind of a lot within the next week or so. So highly recommend you guys check it out.
Definitely check it out. Definitely keep an eye out for it.
We're super in love with these Teen Titans Go special things.
They're so good.
We just found them. We've only recently gotten into Teen Titans Go, and I look forward to the next special event that they do.
So do I.
This is going to be really great.
I looked up who Berto was.
Oh yeah, the whole thing is in memory of Berto, and Berto is
So Berto is the real life father. His name is Albert Jelinek. He's the real life father of Teen Titans Go creator Michael Jelinek. He died. He lives in San Pedro. He died in California in 2019 from natural causes at the age of 75. As a quote on the Teen Titans fandom website, he wished his son would get a real job, like being a longshoreman at the docks.
Yeah.
Michael Jelinek actually wrote his father into the 200th episode, which is the episode where they come into our world, into the real world, and they meet the voice actors and all this kind of stuff. And his father teaches them a lesson before the end of their existence and all this stuff. So it's a continuation of the character that represents his father in this show, which I think is really awesome. So you know what? This was
fantastic.
This was not as good as The Night Begins to Shine 2, whatever the additional words for that one is.
But that's not taking away from this at all.
But this was also way better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, this whole miniseries, or like mini special event, whatever, has been just as many references and as meta as you can possibly make it. And this last episode sort of takes it to the nth degree. I mean, like at one point in time, the fucking ice zombies. Also, they specifically reference Game of Thrones but they kind of use off terms for a lot of shit also.
Yeah.
So I wonder where the legality of their writing came in there. But like at one point in time, they're just like, like they're ice zombies. We gotta stop them. And Robin's just like, is that
Mr. Freeze?
Is that Mr. Freeze over there? And like and they're like, no, that's clearly just the king of the ice zombies. And you're like, I fucking get what's going on here, man.
Yeah.
So they really do kind of take this one to the absolute limit.
Yeah, this one was definitely, I think, made more for adults than for kids.
Oh yeah,
even more so than the regular.
I would love to hear what like a younger kid thought about this miniseries, primarily because there's no way they got all of what's going on. Also, young kids don't know where in the world is Carmen Sandiego is, right? I mean,
probably.
I don't even think that was technically on the air when I was a kid. I think I was watching
something that I grew up with.
I watched it, and played the computer games and all that stuff. I fucking love that stuff. But like, still, that's an old reference, you know. That's unless there's like still Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego episodes being pumped out, and I just don't fucking know about it, which is entirely plausible. But yeah, this was really good. Teen Titans Go is such a fantastically intelligent show. It's fun and silly and absurd, but it definitely has morality. I like that they've added depth to Robin, and he's not just like a badass leader of the troop. You know, it's and especially in this run in the where exactly on the globe is Carl Sanpedro. They took his absurdity to like the nth degree. Yeah. Right? Where he's just like not at all, he's just like, let's learn about these unlearnable, you know, these like tiny places that nobody learns about. Let's do this, and the rest of the Teen Titans want fucking 0% to do with it. Right? But you know, somehow it always works out that he was correct, and you know. So it's like being a faultless leader through fault. And it really makes for a really enjoyable experience with regard to all of the Teen Titans in this. 5
out of 5.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
was fantastic.
5 out of 5. Yeah.
So I would say go watch it. You already spent enough time watching this review. You basically have invested.
Yeah, you've invested like almost the entirety of the length of the show. I've been trying to keep these short, but the show is really like 5
highly recommend
10-minute
you
parts,
watch,
4 10-minute
and
parts.
then you can feel a little bit of gumshoe.
Yeah, be a
yourself.
Gumshoe. Do it. But either way, don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that kind of stuff. I've been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. This was Weird Review Jive, spread out over 4 days. We watched the Teen Titans Go special event, Where Exactly on the Globe is Carl Sanpedro, and we will catch you guys next time.